All right. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for joining the live training today. These are mini trainings. The topics that we're going to be covering today relate to self-care and also relate to confidence. Now, these are mini trainings, so I'm going to go over just a couple of really quick tips to help you make some movement in some of those areas. Keep in mind that self-care and confidence are very complex topics, and there's a lot more that goes into it, but this is just a great way for you to get started. Give you a couple action steps that you can go ahead and implement into your schedule today. So I appreciate you for joining, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with the presentation today. All right. So we have two trainings we're going to go through today, and they're going to be pretty quick. So we'll go as quick as we can. If you have some questions for me, please let me know. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to DM me, send me a message, just reach out to me if you have any additional questions. For both of the trainings, I'm going to be offering a bonus at the very end of them. So definitely stay tuned until the end of the training so you can see what special offer I have for you that can help you be able to make some more movement and accomplish your goals a lot faster. First training is going to be our 3 tips to create more time for self-care. Self-care is something that is critically important for everyone to have a balance in their life. And what I've noticed with a lot of my clients, and I've personally experienced this myself, is that we as females are oftentimes so busy taking care of everyone else that we simply just do not have time to take care of ourselves. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to get started, 3 tips that you can go ahead and start putting into your schedule now and hopefully find a bit more time for self-care. There's a couple things that we're going to cover in this training today. So who is this training for? So we can make sure you're at the right place, you're getting the right information, and we're optimizing your time. Second, we're going to look at some of those time management myths and mistakes. I'm going to share with you a few of the common things that I personally have said to myself, and I've heard a lot of clients talk about also. And see, maybe you've done these too. And if so, that's okay. That's why we're here, so that we can create a baseline for you to move forward. Next, we're going to talk about how time management, how mastering it can really help you be able to find more time for self-care. And then I'm going to share with you the 3 tips to help you create more time for self-care in your schedule. And at the end, there's a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus today. So stay tuned to the end so you can see exactly what I can offer for you. So who is this training for, and who is this training not for? This training is for professional females who are women, who are at the point where they're ready to make a change in their life and they need more time for self-care. You may find yourself in one of these scenarios listed on the slide. Maybe you know that you want more balance in life, but you're really not sure of how to get that balance. Or perhaps you feel like you don't have enough time in your schedule for self-care. Like, I got so many things going on. Who has time for that? I don't have time to take care of myself. You may feel like that. I felt like that before. This could be you. Or perhaps you're feeling like you're just tired. You're trying your best to put time in for self-care, but for some reason you find that you keep going on the hamster wheel. One day you do it, one day you don't. You may be in that situation also. You may just feel like you're at the point in your life where you want to make a bigger impact on your life, your family, your community, your state, your country, the world, but you can't find time for self-care, and so it's preventing you from doing those things. Or perhaps you're just feeling overwhelmed. You have a lot going on in life, and you know that you need to take care of yourself, but you just simply don't have the time to do it. And so if you find yourself in one of these scenarios, or have found yourself in one of these scenarios, then this is a great opportunity for us to dive in and let's see what we can do to try to find more time for you so that you can have more time for self-care. Now, I mentioned at the very beginning of the training that there are some common time management mistakes that people made. Now, I will share with you, I have made these mistakes, and I want to prevent you all from making these mistakes. But first, let's see if you've heard of these before. You may have heard of a couple mistakes. You may have said them yourselves. I know I hear it a lot from my clients. So let's see. Do any of these sound familiar? Okay, all you need is a to-do list. How many times have you all heard that? You can share and say, yes, 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 I've heard that before. Or have you heard that multitasking is a bad idea? Is it a bad idea? Well, I think that's something that time management wise, it may not be such a bad idea depending on what you do. You may have heard that only work on projects for 30 minutes at a time. Or perhaps you heard work all the time and never take a break. Have you heard anything like that before? Or this one, this is a good one. I've done this one personally myself, and you may have heard this one also. This one is start with the easiest task or the hardest task first. Now, I've done that many times, and I can tell you it hasn't helped me at all in terms of managing my time. So I don't know if you all have done that one, but I've heard that one all the time. So I just wanted to mention that one also. Or you may have heard never use your cell phone while you're working. I disagree with that one. I think you can make it work while you're working. It's just there's a finessing to it, but you can make it happen. Or perhaps you've heard either you have time management skills, you just don't have it at all. So these are some myths and mistakes that I know I've made and I've heard. A lot of my clients have heard. So if some of these sound familiar, hear all of the time. And so today I want to make sure that we can get past some of those. All right, so now we're going to go into the fun part of the presentation, which is 3 steps to create time for self-care for you. Now, these steps are intended for you to be able to really implement them into your schedule today so that you can go ahead and get started. If you need some additional support to make this happen for you, feel free to contact me, reach out to me. I do have a program that I offer that helps women find more time for self-care that goes into a lot more detail than what we're going to cover in the mini training today. But this is just something just to get you started so that you know how you can get what you need for your self-care. So here we go. The first tip is one of the most important ones. And I encourage you to reflect on your why and why you need more time for self-care right now in your life, or what are some of the challenges that you're having. A lot of times in a coaching environment, if you've ever worked with a coach, the most powerful thing that you can get out of a coaching session is self-reflection and being able to understand you, because a lot of times we're so busy doing so many other things, we just don't have the opportunity to really get to know ourselves. So what is it? What is it that's going on in your life right now that is pressing you to really take more time for yourself and find time for self-care? Is it a new job? Maybe you have an additional family member. Maybe you just had a baby. Maybe you just have other responsibilities in your family. Or maybe you're at a point in your life where you really want to fully start living your life. And that includes being able to take care of yourself and your family better. I think the one thing about self-care that I encourage all my women to really think about that means a lot to me is just one statement that most of us have heard if you've ever taken a flight. Whenever you're on an airplane, they always tell you what? What do they tell you? You have to put if something happens to this plane and it goes down, you're going to have to put your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else. And I think for self-care, that is so important. And that really is the basis on what I think of self-care. If me as a person, if I can't take care of myself, then I can't take care of my husband. I can't take care of my 3 kids. I can't take care of the community that I serve. And so keep that in mind when you're thinking about your self-care. The why is really important. Why is it? I know for me personally, I was at a point where I just felt like I needed to do more, and I couldn't do more if I wasn't taking care of myself. So your reason may be different than mine, but really think about what that reason is. And also spend some time thinking about your challenges. What are those obstacles? What is preventing you from being able to find time for self-care in your schedule right now? What is it? I would grab a piece of paper and just start writing, just try to figure everything out. So those are some suggestions. That's really the first step that I would recommend, the first tip to find more time for self-care. So make sure you commit this one to memory because you need this to move forward with other tips. So the second tip is to list all of the activities that mean self-care to you. And I have that in bold, underlined, because your self-care is going to be different than my self-care. There's a couple things that are fairly consistent. When people think about self-care, you hear yoga, you hear meditation, you hear exercising, and those are all forms of self-care. However, that may mean self-care to you. It may not mean self-care to you. And it's really important to know what that is for you. So what I would encourage you to do today is to get a piece of paper and to write down everything that you feel like means self-care to you. Whether that's exercising, painting your nails, reading a book, talking to your family, talking to a friend. I don't know what it is for you, but if you take a moment and write all of those things down, then that will give you some clarity to know what it is that means self-care to you. And then we're going to start digging into those activities. So the first thing for me that I did when I was on my journey to mastering my time, to make more time for self-care, was to do this exact same exercise. And for me personally, being able to read a book daily was really important to me and made me feel like I was making time for myself. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Once you get your list, pick one activity, ladies, one activity on that list that means self-care to you. That if you were to have this activity in your schedule today, that you would feel that, okay, all right, I'm at the point where I'm taking care of myself. So whatever that one activity is, get that narrowed down, and then let's move on to number 3. So this is our third and final tip for this mini training, and that is to add the self-care activity to your schedule. Now you may be thinking, I just don't have time for it. I would like for you to think of it a little bit differently. Instead of thinking, I don't have time, let's think of something positive, such as I can create time. So once you know what that one activity is, ladies, that one activity, then determine how much time you need to spend on this activity. Now, this is the tricky part. Not how much time you think you need, how much time you actually need. I thought that I needed to read for 10 minutes and I would feel like I took time. But in actuality, my 10 minutes really was about 20. So think about that one activity that you have, and time yourself. See how long it takes for you to do this activity to where you feel comfortable, and then find some time in your schedule where you can start doing it. These are really 3 quick tips to help you start creating more time for self-care. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is a starting place. There's a lot more that goes into managing your time and really fine-tuning it. So if you need some more support and need more help to really help you master your time so that you can create more time for self-care and get a couple things ready for you, then just let me know. Please contact me, DM me. I'd be happy to share any resources I have and help you get the information that you need so that you can manage your time a little bit better. So our final takeaways from our mini training today is to focus on yourself. Focus on what your why is right now. Why do you need more time for self-care, and what it is that needs to change, or what are some of those challenges that you're having right now that are preventing you from doing that. The second is to focus on that one activity. We need at least one activity that you've developed off of your list that can help you find more time for self-care, that makes you feel like you have time for that. This is a self-care activity for you. Whatever that is, get a piece of paper, write it all down, pick one. Just pick one to start. Once you master your time, become very, very great at it, then you'll be able to add more self-care activities. It'll be a lot of fun. So this is just a way to get started. And you can master your schedule by finding out how much time you actually need compared to what you think you need. So make sure when you find that one activity, spend some time and time yourself and see exactly how long it takes you to do that one activity that makes you feel like you have time for self-care. Then you'll need to figure out when you need to put that activity in your schedule. And then finally, that's the test out part. Try it out. There may be some hours of the day that work better for you to do the activity. There may be some that are not, that just don't work. So test it out. And then finally, just really get excited because you are focusing in on yourself. And this is a great opportunity for you to be able to put more self-care into your schedule, and you can do a lot more. So I hope this information has been helpful to you. As I mentioned at the very, very beginning, there is a bonus that I do want to provide to you today. And so that bonus is that I'm going to offer you a free 30-minute strategy session. Sorry, my baby's crying. But I'm going to offer you a free 30-minute strategy session where we can chat and we can have a conversation about what it is that you are struggling with right now and some of the things that we can work on together. With the 30-minute strategy session, this is a great opportunity for us to work together and maybe come up with an action plan for you so you can figure out what it is you need to do and how we can make some action steps for you and make some of your dreams come a reality. I hope this has been very helpful to you. I'm going to hop off and take care of my little one, and then I will hop back on to do the second part of the training, which relates to how you can become more confident with speaking to other people. All right. If you have any questions, DM, let me know, and sign up for your free strategy session. Send me a DM, contact me, reach out to me some way, shape, or form. This is only going to be for a limited amount of time. So anybody that watches this video or replay, definitely reach out to me as soon as you can so that you can take advantage of the offer while it's there. And I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Bye for now.